Hey, how's it going? It's Alex. All right, so in this tutorial, I'm going to go over how to make, for anyone who's crazy enough to try it, a third-person camera perspective in virtual reality. Specifically, what I'm talking about is instead of the camera being directly where the player would be, it's possibly up and back, maybe to the left or to the right. It's a distance away from where the controllers are so that the user actually gets a feeling that they are in third person rather than in first person, right? So I'll show you first off what first person would be. So for example, in this VR golf game that I'm making, first person perspective would be if I want to hit the golf club, I'm right, or hit the golf ball, my club is right where my controller is, which is right next to my face, right? So if I go to just tap the ball, it rolls, and it looks like I'm in first person. It feels like rudimentarily, in a very rudimentary way. Okay, it feels like I am the one controlling the club. Okay, so let me actually go over quickly, because it's actually really easy, how to make something in third person. So on the camera rig setup in Steam VR, and if you don't have Steam VR set up, there's a link in the description for that video. It's really easy. Under the camera rig setup, go under camera head and then open that up and click on camera eye. Now camera eye is actually the one that shows the actual perspective in VR. So this is the object, the game object that we need to modify its transform position in order to make it third person. And so for example, if we want it to be up and back and maybe a little bit to the left, that's all we have to do. We just have to modify the position of the camera eye element. So now when we go to hit play, bring this up, you'll see that it's actually a lot further up. Let me actually modify it a little more. It's probably not as obvious. We can even just keep pulling it back, and this is kind of where the trial and error is. So it's like maybe you want it higher up, maybe you want it further back, higher up, further back. Yeah, I really like that. From like a third person perspective, let's even go further back, like really third person this thing. Yeah, now we're talking. And the ball can still be hit. Like the controller is still down there relative to that, but it actually feels like I'm now in third person. And so that's as simple as that. Just making sure that you modify this position on the transform of the camera eye object, and there you go. Like I said, it's just, as you've seen, it's just a lot of trial and error, just seeing what you like, what you don't like. I personally have tried to play this in third person, and it's very disorienting. It's very kind of not like afraid of heights, but like it feels like you're gonna fall all the time, and it's kind of nauseating. And I'm not someone who normally gets nauseous, so as a game designer, as an experienced designer, be very cautious to actually use this and make sure you use it wisely. Another example I've seen of people in third-person VR is a stationary camera that follows the character from afar. So not necessarily a static camera rig, but like maybe they can control a character from afar and the camera watches them from a distance. I don't necessarily think that's the best form of a VR game, but that is an example of a third-person camera. So yeah, that's all you really need to do. So if you have any questions or comments, or you run into any issues with this, or even if you have any desire for future tutorials and future content, comment below. I'll definitely be reading that. And make sure you hit the subscribe button, because there's going to be a lot more tutorials just like this coming out. Thanks.